Hello? Oh my gosh, it's so loud. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I know. Turn it down. I know. Maybe more. Tad bit more. Tad bit more. Tad bit more. Girl, goodness gracious. Okay. I the game is like I don't know if the let's see. I don't know if the game is like catching or the sound is catching it. Okay, goodness gracious. I have to like make sure that I am listening to the recording is okay because I'm having like malfunctions. But let me lower it just a tad bit more, just a tad bit more. It's just a music that's okay. You know what? Let's just get to it. Okay, let's just get to it. I'm oh I forgot I didn't have a continue. Oh my gosh. Okay, okay. Disclaimers. I am. TouchStarved is intended for an older audience. It contains mature content that includes, but is not limited to, horror, graphic violence, strong language, alcohol and drug references, injury, and dismemberment. What? Dismemberment. Player discretion is advised. If you accept this content or the content warning, please click to proceed. Also, I would like to Okay, tutorial. In Touch Starve, your choices matter. The decisions you make may result in unique dialogue, interactions, or even choices in red text which contain exclusive content. Try playing through the demo more than once and choosing different options. You might even uncover a secret ending. And remember, there are no wrong choices, only interesting ones. Choose wisely and save often. Okay? I'm not gonna remember that. Okay, now it's hold on. It says turn down the music all the way down because your girl is a content creator. Choose your pronouns. I will be she, her. This world began to unravel long before you were born. It began with fogfall. Spectral mists bled from the seams where reality wore so thin it split. And from that fog emerged monsters, inhuman beings with unnatural powers. Some possessed language and intellect, others were mindless beasts driven by little more than the desire to slaughter. As cities fell and unrest spread, humans united in their fear while monsters thrived in the chaos. And then there's you. You're not even sure if you're human. You were born cursed, with hands that alter the minds of anyone you touch. Ooh, choose your backstory. Okay. Oh, okay. So we have the unnamed, a fallen oracle, which is where you were raised as an oracle in a remote temple. The priests claim your touch bestowed enlightenment, but a visiting mage revealed your curse for what it is. Following the mage's word, you fled in search of the cenobium. You regularly experience unnatural premonitions that rattle your body and soul. An innate sixth sense gives you a heightened awareness of hidden supernatural presences around you. We also have the Hound, which is a forsaken thief. where you were raised by society's outcasts, criminals who accepted you when nobody else would. Your partner in crime, a friend since childhood, helped you steal enough money for a cure, then betrayed you. They left you with only enough coin to travel to the cenobium, your last hope. You have sharply honed social intuition. You can survive and even thrive in the violent underbelly of any city, using your experience with the underworld to get ahead. Lastly, we have the alchemist, an abandoned mage. An exiled Cenobian mage took you in as a child, raising you as her apprentice. She seemed to take pity on your curse, but you discovered that she was cultivating you as a test subject. You fled to the Cenobium, seeking a cure. You are an experienced spellcaster with encyclopedic knowledge of alchemy, spellcraft, and history. With a little observation, you can identify the subtle effects of magic. Oh. I have been in love with mages, so we're gonna go with alchemist. Your name is Kale Ashley. You selected she, her pronouns. Your backstory is the alchemist, is correct? Yes. The wasteland stretches as far as the eye can see. There's nothing out here but death, the ever present stench of decay, and countless sun bleached bones cast like seeds across the barren lands. Or land. I could say death doesn't scare me, but to tell the truth, I'm desperate. It's been 2 weeks since I joined a caravan bound across the wastes. Finding a group that would accept me was a trial in itself. As rations grew sparse and my canteen ran dry, I began to despair, but then I saw it. What you saw? Is it Cerobium? Oh, Eridia, the city of knowledge. One of the last bastions of humanity left in the world and home to the famous academy called the Cenobium. All the world's knowledge gathered in one place. If there's anywhere I'll find a cure for my curse, it's there. All that stands between me and a cure is a final stretch of salt soaked white waste. Or so I think, until I see the first tendrils of fog snaking beneath the wagon. Or wagon. Is this fogfall? My stomach sinks at the very whisper of it. A silent storm more devastating than fire. Dangerous in cities, but a death sentence beyond them. A thick blanket of fog engulfs us, smothering out the lantern's light. The wagon lurches to a stop. An eerie silence, heavy as a mist, falls over us. The only warning we get is a strangled scream. I'm not screaming while it's early in the morning. But stay back! No! The cry dissolves into wet gurgling. Oh my gosh, that's so loud. And then the wagon violently pitches to the side. I hit the ground hard. The air punched from my lungs. When I open my eyes, adrenaline lends sudden, awful clarity to the carnage around me. A trader I once shared bread with lies face down in the mud, their back reduced to long strings of torn muscles, gleaming gristle and exposed bone. Bodies litter the wasteland. I try to rise, but my ankle explodes with pain so blinding. White blooms across my vision. Only when my eyes adjust do I see the dark shape in front of me. A soulless stoops over the twisted form of a caravaner. I freeze, but it swivels its head. A dozen bulging eyes twitch in my direction and blink as one. The soulless lets out an ear-splitting shriek and runs at me. It was indeed ear-splitting, as I had to lower down my volume because that was too loud for me. But right before it reaches me, the beast barrels past, vanishing into the mist. Distantly, a horse screams in the dark. I need to move. Now! Oh. Run for the city. Why not? I take off, running deeper into the haze. The fog is so thick that I fear I'm headed in the wrong direction until I see a dim pinprick of light emanating from the shadow of a spire. It's faint, but it's enough. I came too far to die here. Rapid footsteps echo all around me. I turn in circles. Circles? I turn in circles, frantically searching the opaque mist for the source, but the fog fall twists and stretches sound. Suddenly, the caravan's driver bursts forth from the fog. Our eyes meet too late. He slams into me, knocking me to the ground, and slips in a patch of mud. The solace falls on him as soon as he slows. It catches the driver by his throat and rakes his stomach with razor-sharp claws. He comes apart like wet paper, spilling intestines and viscera in a steaming tide. Fighting the urge to heave, I claw frantically through the slippery muck for a handhold. Shit! My hand catches on a jagged edge of a rib jutting up from the water. Bandages unfurl around the gouge, torn deep into my palm. The pain's quickly forgotten when a hand closes around my wrist. Can you stand? One of the travelers from the caravan leans over me. We need to run! I'm not a voice actor, I'm sorry. They reach for my hand, and I realize too late that my bandages have come undone. No! Don't touch me! The sensation of their thumb brushing the back of my hand sends a shiver down my spine. All it takes is one touch, and in the space of a breath, my curse takes hold. Oh my gosh. Their lips peel back into a deranged grin. Hey, I'm not laughing like that, but it's creepy. No, I've seen this face countless times before. This is my curse, madness of my own making. Their grip on my hand tightens until pain radiates from my knuckles. Let me go! Suddenly, clammy hands crush my throat, choking off my breath. Die, 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 die. Spit bubbles at the corners of their mouth and flecks my face. Rabies? The edges of my vision darken as my lungs scream for air. My nails gouge deep into the traveler's wrists, but no matter how much blood I draw, they don't flinch. The more I struggle, the tighter the grip grows. So sorry. This can't be happening. I'm going to die, and not because of the fogfall or the solace, but because of my own curse. Tears sting my eyes. No, 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 not here. Not like this. The hands drop from my neck, leaving me wheezing for air. My lungs burn with each rag cough. My vision clears and a traveler's face takes shape, hovering inches from mine, lips still split in the macabre smile, even as blood sits between their teeth. They give one last shuddering breath, then slump over the claws hooked through their stomach. Thank you. The solo shoves the body aside, and the glowing eyes studying its leathery skin thin as though grinning. Crunchy. There's a flash of claws. Red spill across my vision. I thought there'd be pain, but as I sink into the murky water, all I can feel is the grit of silt? filling my mouth and the icy embrace of shallow water. Instantly, I noticed an arm resting among an outcrop of reeds, mine neatly severed at the elbow. I should have taken both arms. Without them, maybe I could have survived. Maybe I could have had a home. Instead, I'll die cold, alone, and face down in desolate wasteland. A fitting end for a monstrosity like me. Maybe just, if this is death, it's not as bad as I feared. The cold is gone, as is the choking stench of bog water. I could drift forever, cocooned in oblivion, until all thought and sensation vanished. No curse, nobody howling at me in madness and terror, nothing at all. The thought has a terrible appeal to it. But the next moment, I take a reflexive breath. Oh, alright. Feeling comes flooding back. Warm cloth on my burst skin. A firm surface underneath me. A strange tang of sulfur in the air.
Do not be afraid.
Oh. I twist my head toward the voice. Tears flood my blurry vision at the bright glow of lamplight.
Try not to move.
The voice. Oh, sorry. The voice calm, steady, and commanding. But more importantly, it's a stranger's voice. One thought cuts through my mental fog. I have no idea who this is, and I'm completely at their mercy. Stay away from me! My words come out in little more than a creaky. Stay away from me! My words come out in little more than a creaky whisper. I clamp my mouth shut, hating how weak and helpless I sound. No. No? Who the hell is this? Sit up. I manage to push myself up on one elbow, but my head swims and my surroundings give an alarming lurk. Ugh, a stubborn patient. I don't have the strength to dignify that with a response. Instead, I pull the shade up higher and wipe my eyes until my vision clears. Ooh. The stranger towers over my prone form. Warm light reflects off his pristine medical coat. I instinctively shrink back, and that's when I notice I'm completely naked, except for a thin linen sheets. Naked, lying low, caught with a pair of sharp golden eyes watching my every move. The man's gaze flickered to my exposed, unbandaged hands. I plunged my hands under the sheet to hide them from sight, though it's too late. He must have noticed what they looked like. Strange, cursed, inhuman. I brace myself for his inevitable suspicion disgust, but his expression doesn't even flicker from that courteous smile. He just watches in placid silence as I struggle to make sense of my surroundings. Where am I? Who are you? Be calm. You are safe here. Whoever this is, he clearly has no idea who or what I am. I have never been safe anywhere with anyone. Even my own mentor, my teacher, thought I was nothing but a convenient specimen to be used and discarded. I scowl, pulling the sheet protectively around myself. Where are my clothes? The man's golden eyes narrow slightly. A sharp sight rustles the papers in his hands. I see you're not be I see you are not to be dissuaded. Your clothes were torn to shreds when I found you, but I procured replacements. With a soft creak, he stands from his chair, giving me a better view of my surroundings. I seem to be in a sort of a medical clinic. Bottles of silvery alchemical concoctions line the counters in neat rows. The air makes my nose twitch, a faint whiff of smoke and something distinctly metallic that I can quite place. The doctor produces a large, dense bundle of cloth, which she sets at the foot of my cot. He's easily a head taller than most, and I have to crane my neck to look at him. I should be polite if I can, especially since I don't know who this is, what he can do, or what he wants with me. Thank you. You are welcome. I will leave you to get dressed. Ooh, see? He's a gentleman. With a curt nod, he leaves through a narrow door. I hear a soft click as the lock turns behind him. I count to three in a sudden silence. When I don't hear any more footsteps, I reach for the bundle of clothes. An itch on my elbow stops me short. I reach down absently, absently to rub at it, then freeze when my fingers meet a neat line of stitches. I know what I saw. That piece took my arm clean off. And yet, my arm shows no sign of injury, apart from the black stitches poking through my skin. I gingerly flex my fingers, feeling my heart race at the sensation. This is impossible. I should be dead, or at the very least, gasping out of my last breaths. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the pleasant dream to unravel, to wake up bleeding out in a swamp. But nothing happens. The seconds tick by, my arm remains resolutely healed, my surroundings pristine and quiet. In numb disbelief, I reach for the replacement clothes and begin stiffly pulling them on. They're thicker and warmer than mine were, with a black woolen cloak to go with them. But there's one thing still missing: my bandages. The golden eye man didn't leave me with any, even though I know he's on my hands. I slide off the bed and take a few unsteady steps towards one of the drawers. If this is indeed a doctor's clinic, there must be bandages somewhere. I start opening drawers at random, and of course, that's when the door swings open once more. Are you looking for something? I wheel around, clutching a thick roll of clean bandages. I try to step back from him, but my but my legs bump up against the edge of the cot. Your caution is understandable, though if I meant you any harm, you would know. That doesn't make me feel better in the slightest, but it makes no move towards me. So I quickly wind the bandages around my hands. The glowing scars and mottled skin disappear under a layer of clean, white cotton. May I ask why you need an additional bandages? I clenched my jaw. I knew it'd only be a matter of time before he asked about my hands, though the way he does it, though the way he does it is strangely roundabout. Let's plead the fifth. There's no answer I could give without raising unwelcome suspicion, so I just shake my head and finish tying the bandages in silence. I can only help if you tell me what ails you. An involuntary snort of laughter escapes me. Where would I even begin? Would he even believe me if I told him? No, best to keep my curse to myself for now and learn more about him first. Who are you? You may call me Kuras. And where exactly am I? Eridia, which I assume was your caravan's destination. I can think of nowhere else for a group of travelers to go. Eridia. So, I made it to the City of Knowledge after all. I should feel relieved, but all I can manage is a vague sense of increasing unease. How did I end up here? I brought you to my clinic, of course. You were the only survivor from the caravan, barely clinging to life. You needed immediate treatment, which you provided? Yes. He says it so simply, as if I'm a small child and he's explaining basic addition to me. I frown and flex the fingers on my recently healed arm. Aside from being a bit stiff, it feels fine, thoroughly attached to me. You're saying that you stitched my arm back on? Pardon? A soulless attacked the caravan. It ripped everyone to shreds. It tore my arm clean off. But when I woke up here, I spent my entire life learning from a Shinobi mage, and I know of no alchemy or magic that could reattach a severed limb. Even if he somehow could heal me by magic, I should detect traces of it, but I sense nothing out of the ordinary at all. The doctor, Kuras, pinches the bridges of his nose. Pinches the bridge of his nose. He sits back down in his chair, quiet for a long time. I do not know where you came from, but Iridia is a city of knowledge and deadly secrets alike. Information is power, and it's most unwise to give or receive it freely. Since you have refused to divulge your secrets, I will not divulge mine. I do not even know your name. I was just. You're new to Iridia, so I will overlook this specific breach of etiquette. However, you should not expect others to extend the same courtesy. Do you understand? He looks pointedly at my freshly bandaged hands. Loath through Loath though I am to admit it, he has a point. I am also a complete stranger to him, and if he's telling the truth, he saved my life. I take a deep, steadying breath. This time, when I speak, I sound a bit more like myself. Kale Ashley. My name is Kale Ashley. It is a pleasure to meet you, Kale Ashley. What a name. There's a little more warmth in his smile. His polite demeanor back in an instant. I have to say thank you for saving me. Thank you for saving my life. I chance to smile in return, even if he won't explain how he did the impossible. There's no doubt in my mind that I'll be dead if not for Kuras. Think nothing of it. I'm not sure if it's just being excessively courteous, but its words only raise more urgent questions. But I have to ask, why did you save me? You don't even know me. The question seems to startle Kuras. I could hardly leave you to die in a waste. Assisting those in need is the very essence of a doctor's duty. I never met a doctor who also handed out free clothes. My fingers find the edge of the cloak. There's a subtle but delicately embroidered pattern around the hem. I try not to think about what kind of price Kuras might ask for such a well-made clothes. No, I suppose not. Forgive my presumption. I rarely came across so fascinating a patient. I blink. What did he just say? It simply meant that few would cling to life so resolutely, or brave such a perilous journey to Eridia. I could not help but being curious about you, Kel Ashley. Ooh. His voice dips to a soft murmur, and he abruptly looks away from me. You're pretty curious yourself. Am I? Well, I haven't forgotten about my arm. I wiggle my intact fingers at him. Clearly not. But you haven't asked me for any payment either. I require none from you. Travelers do not have an abundance of coin, and it would be unethical to leave you destitute in a strange place. I fall silent, unsure what to say to that. Nobody would help a horror like me for free. There has to be some kind of catch or a trick, right? A loud knock at the front door stops our conversation cold and spares me from having to say anything else. Duty calls? Unfortunately, you're not my only patient today. The knocking nose grows more insistent, and Kuro let out a tired sigh. Please wait your turn. Though he says quietly, the clamor on the other side of the door abruptly stops. Do you need anything before you leave, Kale Ashley? Oh, between the Solus attack and my miraculous survival, I almost forgotten why I came to Aridia in the first place. I need directions to the cenobium. Cenobium? The look on his face is downright chilling. He pauses, choosing his words with cold deliberation when he speaks again. Whatever you seek, it is very unlikely you will find it there. The cenobium's gates open for precious few visitors. Even if it did, you would not like what you found inside. My heart sinks. Is he saying that I came all this way for nothing? Risk life and limb for nothing? No, that can't be it. I've only just arrived, and already is the largest city still standing. There has to be a cure for me here. Then, if not the Cenobium, do you have any other suggestion? Do you know anyone else in Iridia? I shook my head. Then I suggest a local guide. Head to the wet wick and ask for Linder. Excuse me? The wet what? The wet wick. He sounds deeply unamused. Follow the postings advertising Linder's bloodhounds. They're difficult to miss. When you meet Linder, tell him I sent you. That isn't much to go on, but Curse points towards the clinic back door. It will be safe as long as you do not draw attention to yourself. That's easier said than done, Curtis. I've always been a magnet for the worst sort of attention. If you require my assistance, you may return whenever you wish. A safe spot? Though he's smiling, there's a note of finality in his voice. Resigned to my dismissal, I slip out the back door. Well, I found myself standing in a narrow and rather gloomy alley. I pulled a new cloak up over my nose, stepping over the contents of chamber pots that have been emptied into the street. And I do need to charge my phone for a sec. Hold on. Oh, I just noticed the loop. Okay. Something weighs heavily inside one of the cloak's pockets. My own purse. Purse. Everything's still inside. Every last coin that I scraped together for the journey to Aridia. It doesn't even look like it was opened. There were so few coins to begin with. They probably weren't worth stealing. I glanced back at the clinic's closed doors. Kuras didn't take any payment. He didn't even ask for a future favor. But he also said that in Heredia, secrets are power. Does he expect me to give up mine at some point? That's not exactly a comforting thought. Still, no matter why he did it, Kuras gave me a second chance and it laid on where I might find help. I better get going before he changes his mind. I squeeze out of the alley and into the crowded main street. The line outside Kuras clinic stretches down the road already. Two thin peddlers queue alongside weathered elders. If any place is in desperate need of a free clinic, it's this one. The cobblestones are treacherously rough under my feet, deep grooves worn between them by regular flooding and decades of hard use. I know Iridia was a river city, but I didn't expect it to look so eroded. The buildings are tired and dilapidated, all crammed together in the narrow streets. A child darts by, clutching something greasy wrapped in paper. The smell of fried food drifts over to me. My stomach gives a faint gurgle. This morning's catch, fried up, hot and fresh, not too many eyeballs that... Not many... What the? What? That sounds disgusting. But I am starving, so I duck my head under the stall's grubby awning. A large fish, a large fish leers up at me, its three bulging eyes still visible through the thick layers of crispy batter. The vendor gave me a gap-toothed grin. What's the cheapest thing you got? The vendor points at a metal basket with what looks like a long strips of savory fried dough. Fresh, long lads, 3 copper apiece. Don't burn your mouth. I take the coins out, counting them gingerly. At this rate, I'm not even be able to afford dinner. Reluctantly, I drop the payment on the counter and take my meal. 2 streets later, I pass under a wrought iron archway adorned with dangling garland of red and pink lilies. The buildings in the quarter are a dizzying riot of color. Painted walls and tinted glass everywhere I look. Sheer red and pink curtains flutter in open doorways. Musical voices call out invitingly. Incense mingled with the pungent scent of flowers, barely covering the salt and musk of warm bodies. This must be Eridia's entertainment district. I'm polishing off my food and dusting the crumbs from my hands when I spot a poster. It features the silhouette of a smiling man wearing a single dagger-like earring and the word bloodhounds printed above his head. A motto: as above, so below, circles the artwork. Are we going into an adventure right now? As above, so below? What do you mean? If Linder is the leader of the Bloodhounds, then the face printed on the poster is likely his. I followed the line of identical posters around a corner and nearly hit my head on a precariously dangling wooden sign. Looking up, faded orange letters read, "The Wet Wick." The facade of the building looks like it's seen better days, but I hear faint music and laughter coming from inside. The inside of the bar is a far cry from the abandoned exterior. It's at every midday, yet most of the tables and booths are occupied by a loose assembly of people in matching green clothes. Can you guys even hear me? I'm gonna lower the sound for a bit. This is a bit, okay. I'm no stranger to bars. Sometimes I would take my books to the local tavern for a change of scenery, but I much prefer quieter places. A cursory glance doesn't turn up anyone with a dagger-shaped earring. I'm about to head towards the counter when a chant rises from the center of the room. Show! 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 The remaining green cloaks abandon the bar and their booths to rush towards the center of the room in a sudden torrent. There's no time to move out of the way. I'm caught, swept along in the ale-stench current. Hey! Rhythmic chanting drowns out my voice. I trash, throwing out my elbows as the press of bodies grows heavier. My hip, my hip, my hip knocks into a table. I grip it, holding on tight, steadying myself. But the crowd has stilled. The chanting stopped. A pair of gilded boots stride across the tabletop. Seriously? You dogs? Again? Scattered laughter and cheers rise from the audience. I drag my eyes upwards. A well-dressed man stands on a table in front of me, his broad shoulders framed by the thick lapels of a trench coat. This really is the last time, alright? This time when he speaks, the audience fell silent, as though bewitched by his magnetic presence or rich, low voice. Oh no. But nothing is as captivating as his smile. He beams at the crowd around him, a performer on his makeshift stage. Don't blink, or you'll miss it. He laughs at the dagger shaped earring dangling from his left ear, catches the light in a flash of gold. It would seem I found Linder. He raises his hand above the audience and snaps. A flash of pale green light. Real magic. No ordinary stage trick blinds me. As the brilliance ebbs, my gaze refocuses on the mage towering above me. He flicks his wrist, and the magic spiraling around him coalesces. A delicate flower stem sprouts from between his pinched fingers. One by one, glowing lily petals spring forth. With a flourish, the mage presents the conjured flowers. The audience bursts into clapping and cheers. My mouth hangs open, and not just on account of the impressive performance. There was no incantation, no spell circle. I'd never seen something so beautiful and intricate conjured so effortlessly. Linder must be an incredibly gifted mage. No wonder Kuras recommended him. Linder plucks the iridescent bouquet out of the air and turns into a slow circle, giving his audience a good look. Now, we could use some good luck. Eager onlookers scoot closer to the table. Some reach for the lilies, while others whistle and call Linder's name. But his cool green eyes light right over them, locking on me instead. Ooh, how about you? My chest tightens. Every person gathered turns to stare at me. Why not? I reach out, all too aware of the way my fingers trembled as I carefully take the flowers from him. There's no weight to them, only a faint warmth that radiates from the stems. As soon as the flowers leave Linder's hand, their light dims. They fade away in a shower of opalescent light. To my surprise, Linder's laughs under his breath. That's the problem with flowers. They don't last long, but they leave an impression, right? He grins at me, and I find myself smiling back. Linder steps off the table, dropping among the excited crowd with an audible clink. All right, bloodhounds, get back to your drinks. Show's over. The green cloaks disperse at his command, returning to the tables and booth. Before I can make my way towards Linder, his eyes find me. He gives me a friendly wave, then beckons me over to the crowded counter. I manage to squeeze beside him, but there's so little room that his broad shoulder presses against mine. I tense, but he doesn't seem to mind at all. Is this your first time in Heredia? He says it lightly, with a genuine air of curiosity. Do I stick out that much? No, but I'm certain I remember seeing a face as lovely as yours around Lowtown. My eyes flicker to the polished countertop. I'm not used to flattery, and being this close makes eye contact difficult. As if on cue, the bartender approaches us. What can I get you? Surprise me and add anything my friend wants to my tab. I wasn't expecting the generosity, but I have to admit, I do feel a little thirsty after all the fried dough. Oh, let's just take water. Water's fine. While the bartender leaves to fix our drinks, Linder leans his elbow on the counter. I'm close enough to notice the purple shadows under his lower lids. His eyes wander over me in return, but when they lock on my bandaged hands, a sour taste rises to my throat. Here comes the question. So, what brings you to the wick? Kura sent me. He pushes his hair back from his forehead, but it immediately falls right back into place. So, it's about work. Ugh. The bartender pushes a pair of glasses our way. I didn't realize how thirsty I am until the cool water touches my lips. I drain the water in a single gulp. Lena takes a deep swig of his beer and lets out a satisfied breath. How can I be of assistance? I need to get to the cenobium. As soon as the word cenobium leaves my mouth, the entire bar falls silent. Bloodhounds twist around their seats to gawk openly. Finally, an especially drunk one speaks up. The hell are you bringing up cenobium in here? Throw him out. This is Bloodhound territory. The vitriol catches me off guard. From the angry looks thrown my way, it's clear I've broken some unspoken rule just by mentioning the cenobium. When I glance at Linder, he's drinking as though he hasn't noticed the uproar. Only when he catches me looking does he lower his glass. For the love of... He drags a hand down his face. Hey, keep it down, will you? This is business. I tense, expecting an argument, but the outspoken bloodhounds silently return to their drinks. Only a handful continue to watch me warily. Sorry about them. The tsunami is a bit of a touchy subject in these parts. Mixed in and out drinks and, well, you saw. How about we continue this outside? When I give him a terse nod, he pushes away from the bar counter. I follow Linder to an alleyway tucked behind the wet wick, where layers of frayed bloodhounds posters have been plastered to the walls. Seeing them side by side, the resemblance between Linder's and his likeness on the posters is impressive. Kuras didn't send you here for help with the Cenobin, did he? From the look he gives me, he already knows the answer. I glance away. No, he didn't. Suggested I found an alternative. Yet here you are asking about them anyway. What do you need the Cenobin for? I don't want to tell you about my curse. The less people know about my capabilities, the better. Thankfully, Linder takes my reluctant silence as an answer. Well, as you're already aware of the city's currency, information's worth is weight in gold here. Kuras told you the truth. Uh, the Sino... Did I just... I didn't click anything, but it seems like skip something. But Kudas told you the truth. The Cenobian's dangerous. Get on their bad side and they'll imprison you if you're lucky. Or torture you if you're not. Torture? My teacher never described anything like that. But the Cenobian is supposed to be a place of learning. A sanctuary. The Cenobian has always been heralded as the last bastion of human knowledge. A shining beacon of hope in a world steeped in nightmares. If any place held answers, it would be the Cenobium. That's why I came here. That's what they want you to think, but things that seem too good to be true are often just that. Such a simple statement, and yet it leaves me reeling. If it's true, if I stake everything on a lie, then what now? Dinner clears his throat. But as I always say, there's a solution to every problem and alternatives to every solution. He claps his hand and turns to me with a brilliant smile. That's why Kudas pointed you to the bloodhounds. Let us help you, whether it's hunting solas, finding people, or recovering stolen valuables. We can do it all, and free of charge. I'm shaking my head before he's even finished his practice speech. My patience is wearing dangerously thin. Listen, I appreciate the offer, but my problem can be solved by a group of good Samaritans. To my chagrin, Linder nods slowly. Then your problem must be fairly serious. And if a Cenobian's your first choice, you're searching for a magical solution, aren't you? When my eyes widen, he nods along, as though he suspected all along. I'll be happy to help you out. That is, if you tell me what ails you. Linder might not work for the Synodium, but if his show was any indication, then it's even stronger than the mage who raised me. She couldn't do anything about my curse. But maybe I am silent, plagued by the indecision. I don't know if I can trust him, but it's not like I have any alternatives. I hate to admit it, but this could be my only path forward. My confession comes out in a pained whisper. I'm cursed. I was cursed. Cursed? Oh, now I'm very curious. What kind of curse? Something ancestral or more recent? He looks me up and down, taking my face, my eyes, and finally my hands. It's your hands, isn't it? I wait until I'm certain my voice remains steady before answering. My touch is dangerous. It changes people, hurt them. Before I even finish, Linder begins taking his glove off. He tugs his left hand free and flexes his fingers. Let's see it. He offers me his hand, and a prismatic flash of magic ripples across his palm. An enhancement for protection, but I'm already shrinking backwards. I can't. I don't care how confident Linder is. I can bring myself to hurt him, to see his kind face twist into a mask of madness. Believe me, this isn't an ordinary curse. I'll be fine. Perhaps where you came from, your affliction was strange and one of a kind. But spend a year in the city, you see 1,000 curses and try as many cures. Do you really think Kuras would send you here if I couldn't handle it? How should I know? Only met him today. I'm as good as any mage in the Cenobian. Better, even. If they can help, so can I. You don't know what you're asking me. I'm asking you to trust me. I look from Linda's outstretched hands to his confident smile. Then, with a short breath, I begin unwinding the bandages from my hands. Fine, but if you lost control, don't say I didn't warn you. You can tie me up first if it makes you feel better. With each joint I grow more and more certain that this is a terrible idea. Ready when you are. If he's bothered by the way my hands looks, he doesn't show it. My fingers hover shakily over his palm. Three, two, one. I tap his palm once, as quickly as possible. It's barely more than a brush, but that's all it ever takes. When I look at his face, expecting to see the worst, Linder only grins. See? It can't be. This time, when I reach out to touch Linder's palm again, he catches my wrist before I can pull away. I told you, there's really nothing to worry about. He throws off on my tongue, brushes the soft skin of his inner waist. I search Linder's face for traces of madness, but his eyes remain a clear, soft green. Color rises in his cheeks, but he remains still except for the subtle bulbing of his throat. Girl, are you blushing? Neither of us speak as I trace the contours of Linda's palm, lost in an awareness I wasn't prepared for. I've been with other people, kissed them, been embraced by them, and more, but not like this. My fingers, long deprived by years of bandaging, pick up every single detail. The grooves of his palm, the smooth shell of his nails, the pulse of his heart. For as long as I've lived, I've never been able to hold someone's hand, not without dire consequences. I never realized what I was missing until this moment. While Linder's pulse is steady, mine is hammering as fear gives way to excitement. I want to be bold. Go ahead. My hand glides over Linder's wrist and up his forearm, where smooth skin abruptly gives way to the raised scar by the edge of his lip. It matches the one that runs from his collar to cheekbone. Could it be the same wound? I glance at Linder's face, and his lips part as he considers his words before speaking. Am I the first person you've been able to touch like this? Yes. My hand goes still on his arm. So far, I'll admit your touch does make it somewhat difficult to stay level headed, but not due to your power. He takes my hand. His soft green eyes flick to mine before he turns it to inspect the golden fissures crisscrossing my knuckles. Look, we match. He points at a golden pin on his coat collar, and I give him a small smile. Oh, you son of a gun. I draw my hand back and take a steady breath. My hand feels as though it's stuffed with cotton. Yay! Habit alone guides me through the motions of rewrapping my hand, although my fingers tremble too much for the bandages to lie flat. I can't believe that worked. May I ask your name? I'm Ashley. You were right to hide it from me, Ashley. That curse of yours, it's unlike anything I've ever dealt with. I can tell you're discreet, but you best not go showing that off to anyone else. I didn't plan on it. Are you saying Lowtown? I pause. Room and board was something I haven't yet considered. Yeah, you can't even buy anything for your dinner. I don't know. Let's get you properly settled then. You can live with me. The wet week is noticeably quieter. Without their leader, most of the bloodhounds have dispersed, or in a few cases, fallen asleep beside their drinks. Got any room staff, or did my lot grab them all to sleep it off? The bartender, who I now realize doubles as an innkeeper, slides a key onto the counter. You know I always keep the corner open for escapades. Lena's laugh sounds slightly strange, and I always appreciate it, but you're mistaken. Just for my friend. Soon to be Sure, sure. Stay as long as you like. You two have fun? Escapades, huh? Lena clears his throat, then holds the key out to me. But I hesitate. My coin purse barely holds enough for a day's worth of meals, let alone room. How much do I owe you? Nothing. Bloodhound rates. My treat, since you shared your secret. Food, drink, a warm bed, and anything you need. Carefully, I take the key from him. It's small, but weighs heavy in my palm. I never expected to have a warm bed in Iridia, let alone free meals. Thank you. Go explore, Ash. You'll find many roles in Iridia, each leading to different answers. But if you need a reprieve from what haunts you, come find me. Ooh, just be careful. I nod, taking one last look at the gleaming bronze key before tucking it into the pocket of my cloak for safekeeping. Leonard gives me one last friendly wave before I depart. Oh my gosh, okay, so we have now two places where we can go. Okay. The air clings, sudden and heavy. Without the morning crowd, the sunless streets look barren and bleak. Even the peddlers are long gone. Only a pair of crows remain quibbling over stale crust in a gutter. I feel a ridiculous pang of envy and also a sudden burst of sleepiness. And I might need to end this here because I do really need to sleep. But I'll see you guys in the next video, part 2 for this one. This is only a demo, by the way. I don't know when TouchStarved is gonna come out. I believe like quarter four, the fourth quarter of this year, but we'll see. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will very much see you in the next video. Bye bye!